right, let's get into it, shall we? Here we go. Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Ange Kirchhoff, and welcome to our Saturday live stream for week 2 of the 2022 fantasy football season. Again, we're going to be here for the next 2 hours answering questions, of course, going through the chat. I'm filtering through it right now. I see a lot of questions that have already come in. I want to thank you guys for joining us today. The entire objective for today is to, of course, try to answer as many questions as I possibly can in order to help you kind of feel more confident about your lineup going into tomorrow. But do not forget, tomorrow morning, we will be live streaming once again from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Kickoff with Kirchhoff. We do that every Sunday morning for the sole purpose of having updated rankings on screen so that we have the most up-to-date information available to you to give you the most accurate information. Outside of that, today's episode, we'll be answering questions. I'll be doing some drafts via Underdog Fantasy, and also I got a couple other pick'ems that I've kind of picked out as of the last couple days, or probably in the last 24 hours, that I like a little bit more than perhaps the ones that I suggested on yesterday's video. So we'll check those out. Again, if you guys haven't checked out Underdog Fantasy, there's a link down in the description. If you sign up today using promo code ANJU, you'll get a first-time deposit match up to $100. So if you're interested, check that out. All right. So let's get into just answering some questions. I know a lot of people, while I was kind of setting up everything for the stream, were asking regarding, Alvin Kamara. What's the deal with him? What's George Kittle's status? What is Gabe Davis's status? Okay, so Gabe Davis did not practice up until just today. So he was limited today in his practice on Saturday. It's pretty much a walkthrough. So my anticipation is that he's going to play. Same thing with Stephon Diggs. He didn't practice the whole week, but he was a little bit different. He wasn't dealing with an injury. They were just resting him because he's a veteran. Gabriel Davis, on the other hand, had an ankle issue. So we're going to monitor that, but the anticipation is that he is worth the play. But of course, if he's not active, then that kind of makes it easier for us. As for Alvin Kamara, of course, dealing with that rib injury. Listen, if Alvin Kamara is active, it would be hard for me not to play him. He would make our lives a lot easier if they just said one way or the other at this point whether he was going to be active. George Kittle, I know he was limited on Friday, which gives him a far better chance of playing. I think that's probably going to be a game time decision in regards to they're going to warm him up about an hour, 2 hours before the game. If he's not ready to go and he doesn't feel right, then we probably shouldn't go in that direction anyway. It probably wouldn't be worth it, especially if in fact there is a potential for him to re-injure himself, re-aggravate the injury, and then end us with 0 points having left the game early. Outside of that, in terms of injuries, let me see here, because I know there's a lot that we have to go over. So in terms of injuries that we know so far, okay, before I get into the questions, we know that the Arizona Cardinals will be without Andy Isabella and Rondell Moore. So of course that does open up more opportunities for Zach Ertz, Marquise Hollywood Brown, AJ Green, and then I forget the other wide receiver that had like 8 or 9 targets the other day. Exactly. Just came out of nowhere, had himself a great game. Maybe he could have a sneaky week here. We know that the Baltimore Ravens don't have James Prochet, so that's obviously an up for Devin Duvernay, Rashad Bateman. We saw J.K. Dobbins practice at a full capacity this week. And even though that's the case, they did ask him after practice, hey, what's the deal here? Are you going to be playing? He was hesitant to even answer. So my assumption is that J.K. Dobbins most likely misses another week. We know Marlon Humphreys and Brandon Stevens, they're both going to be out. Those are both 2 starting secondary members of the Baltimore Ravens. So 3 of the starting primary players, are probably going to be out. Fuller, ACL, Humphreys missed practice on Friday, and so did Stevens. Not a good sign for that secondary. Certainly does help our Miami wide receivers. Any other significant news? T. Higgins is cleared concussion protocol, should be able to play. Jack Conklin, the starting right tackle for the Cleveland Browns, he should most likely be in a position to play. His backup, Hubbard, is out, so they probably need him to play in that regard. KJ Hamler's out, so that definitely does help Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. More targets will be going in their direction. The biggest concern for me right now is the fact that the Detroit Lions offensive line has fallen apart, okay? Their center, Ragnow, out this week. Their left guard, Jonah Jackson, he's already dealing with an injury, did not practice on Friday. Vaitai, their right guard, did not even play last week. There could be a very good chance that the entire interior offensive line for the Detroit Lions is out this week. And that could very easily hurt the potential upside for DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, etc. And even the receiving pieces like an Amon-Ra St. Brown could be in a good spot there. So fingers crossed. Just keep him going, guys. Keep him in the lineup. He's going to go for his 8th game in a row of 8 or more catches and just keep it rolling. What else do we have here? A part of the Detroit Lions also, one of their starting cornerbacks, Amani Oruwariye, he's going to probably be out. I mean, there's a chance he could play, but he didn't practice on Friday. That's typically a significant designation. If you don't practice on Friday and in full capacity, if you're limited, at least you have a chance. But if you did not participate at all, doesn't help. We know that David Bakhtiari and Alan Lazard were both limited. We know that Michael Pittman and Alec Pierce are both going to be out. Pierce dealing with the concussion. Michael Pittman this week, obviously injured at practice. The entire question is who's the next man up? Paris Campbell and Doolin. Those are the two guys. Also, someone mentioned in the chat, and I will, I mean, it's probably gone by now, but for sure, I think Nyheim Hines definitely gets himself into a conversation where he could easily be a very viable flex option in a PPR scoring format. He was already that last week. I think going into Jacksonville, the fact that Jacksonville has beaten Indianapolis 7 consecutive seasons in Jacksonville leads me to believe that there may be another one of those games where they're going to have to hand it off to their running back, Jonathan Taylor, 24 plus times, and they're going to have to, of course, utilize Nyheim Hines as much as possible in the receiving game. There's a reason why Nyheim Hines had, 6 catches, and Jonathan Taylor had 7 targets, 4 catches. They're going to continue to utilize those receiving backs as much as they possibly can, especially with their primary receivers out. Brandon Bolden for the Las Vegas Raiders didn't participate. He's most likely going to be out, considering he didn't participate on Friday and was obviously questionable after the game. The Rams, Van Jefferson's out again. Hopefully, Allen Robinson's going to get more utilization this upcoming week. What else are we missing here? We know Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be out. We know Aaron Robinson on the Giants, their number 2 cornerback outside of Adoree Jackson. He's going to be out. Kadarius Toney was limited. Najee Harris at a full capacity. Of course, we mentioned Kittle's going to be limited. We may not see him play. Justin Coleman, the starting nickel cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks, he's going to be out. Seattle plays against... Okay, that kind of helps, I suppose, Deebo Samuel in the slot position in any capacity. And then the last couple things we wanted to mention. Chris Godwin, out. We know Julio is dealing with a knee injury. We know that Mike Evans is already dealing with a hamstring injury, quad injury, whatever the heck it is. Those are already concerning signs. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are already pretty banged up, and we're only in week 2. The amount of injuries that I've just gone ahead and just piled on top of each other, just in the beginning of the first 10 minutes of the stream, kind of gives you an indication as to just how... the randomness of this season is just crazy. We have already, Dak Prescott's already out. We know that. Dontrell Hilliard most likely is going to miss this week. He didn't practice at all the entire week. Christian Fulton, one of their primary starting cornerbacks for Tennessee, he's going to be out. Anyway, okay, we've covered that. That is all the injury news. If you have questions as to players who may be filling in for those players, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of scroll up. We had a couple donations come in. Let me address those first and foremost. I appreciate you guys donating to the channel. Do not forget, again, we have a live stream tomorrow morning with updated rankings on screen. So if you want to hold it until then, you can. Otherwise, we're good to go. All right. So let's see. We saw Jabril send in something. Let me see, Jabril. What the heck did you even type in this chat, my guy? Again, guys, if you're going to send in a donation, it's greatly appreciated, but you've got to have a message attached to it. Otherwise, we're going to have this scenario that I legitimately cannot find your comment. So, Jabril, if you could do me a favor, just comment right now down below in the chat. That'd be greatly appreciated. DTN. Rom88 sent in a question, says Kirk or Zeke in the PPR. I'd play Christian Kirk this week. Thank you very much. Melvin says in a 14-team PPR league, okay, 14-team PPR, pick a flex. Okay, we have to pick 2 flexes out of those potential 3 options. Very well. So we have Bateman, Etienne, and Elijah Moore. Full PPR 14-team league. As of right now, I'm probably leaning towards the idea of playing both wide receivers, Bateman and Elijah Moore. The only issue that I have with Etienne is that, yes, he played, but he didn't get much opportunity. And even though he could have very easily scored a receiving touchdown in that game, it's not enough to convince me that the opportunity is going to be there, especially in a full PPR when you need the consistent volume of receptions to hold your value in comparison to other prospects. And the way that James Robinson played really does probably give the team confidence that there's going to be, far more Robinson than we anticipated. Thank you very much, Melvin. Appreciate it. Jabril said, Michael Carter or Elijah Moore in the flex. Sorry, PPR, first time super chatting. No problem. Thank you. I appreciate the contribution. I'd go with Michael Carter. Again, if Michael Carter is going to see a high volume of work, not only on the ground, but through the air because of the association with Joe Flacco, I'd rather go there. Both of them very easily could have scored touchdowns. Michael Carter dropped one. Elijah Moore penalty called it back. But in my opinion, just off of target volume and opportunity of touches, I'd go with Michael Carter in that regard. Thank you. If Kamara plays, should I go with him over Henderson in the flex? That's a good question. If Alvin Kamara plays, even against Tampa Bay, is he worth a play over Henderson? I would probably venture to say no. I'd rather just play Henderson at that point because there's always the potential of Alvin Kamara getting to a point where they still have him limited, similar to the way that he was last week. What was it? 9 rushing attempts, only like 2 or 3 catches. I don't want Alvin Kamara if I'm only getting 10 touches out of him. Maybe in 2017 that was valuable, but now, unless he's going to get all those touches in the receiving game, which he's not going to because Drew Brees is no longer associated there, I would probably venture to say that Henderson's the safer play overall. Appreciate the question. Let's see here. Gibson, Etienne, or Monty? It's not even close. If you have Gibson in your lineup, on your roster this week, guys, you have to play Gibson. It is a beautiful matchup. I know that the Washington Commanders have one of their offensive guards out this week, but they are still a very talented offensive line, and they're playing against the worst run-stopping defense in the entire National Football League. So please do yourself a favor, play Gibson. We're going to hope he scores a touchdown, but even if he doesn't, the volume of work he saw in the receiving game and on the ground in itself is valuable to make him a must-start RB2 flex option this week. In many circumstances, maybe for your team, if you had Elijah Mitchell, something of that extent, he could even be your RB1 if you have Kamara, something like that. Thank you. Let's see here. Justin sends in a donation, says, Andrew, I dare you to shave your beard. Justin, here's the dealio. It would take a large... Okay, first and foremost, daring somebody to do something is probably the most ineffective way to get them to actually do that. So how about this? If somebody wants to donate a large sum of money, I'm talking 5 figures, okay? Then we can talk about the beard coming off live on stream. But outside of that, this thing has been on my face for as long as this channel has been alive, and it's not going anywhere. You guys will not see my chin. I refuse to allow this to happen. So unless somebody's, if we have any oil princes in the chat, then maybe we can talk about it. But outside of that, I think we're keeping it. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate the donation either way. Dami says, half PPR looking for floor, Bateman or Allen Robinson? I go with Allen Robinson. The fact that McVay knows that he needs to get Allen Robinson more utilization, he's said it on multiple occasions. This reminds me of what they did with OBJ last year. OBJ came in, his first game really didn't get any utilization in any regard. And then the next week, first play of the game, they're going straight to him. I think this is going to be a very similar scenario where they're going to design plays to get him involved purposely. Similar to the way that if you guys watch that Thursday Night Football game, in the first half, Justin Herbert was funneling the ball in the direction of Mike Williams. We knew Mike Williams was going to be fine. Of course, he's going to have, these ebbs and flows in his season because that's just the way that his receiving style is kind of built. Contested targets, needs touchdown upside at some points. But I expect him to be highly utilized in this offense, especially in a good matchup against Atlanta. So, yeah, I would go with Allen Robinson there for floor and potentially even upside. I like him in both scenarios there. Appreciate it. Melvin says, thank you. No problem. I appreciate that, Melvin. Let's hear. Sean Bonds says, I have Najee Harris. Was offered Chubb for Harris and Penny. I have Hall, Barkley, Pierce. What is the other name in that order? At running back, should I be worried about his injury? Listen, the fact that he fully practiced and he's ready to go, I have no problem with that. I think we're in a good position. So the fact that somebody wants to give you Chubb for Harris and Penny, they're just trying to fleece you. And I wouldn't allow that to happen to you. You have to keep Harris. You have to keep Penny. Especially considering the fact that Harris is the lone back. I know he didn't have a great week 1, but he still found the end zone. If Cincinnati was in the matchup, he probably would have had a better week. Cincinnati's really good in terms of run stop defense. As of the last 8, 9 games that they've played, even going back to last season with similar personnel, they've been really good in terms of stopping the run. So it wasn't really a factor of Harris not playing well. It was a matter of the matchup and his offensive line really not helping him out too much. But yeah, I would keep Harris and Penny. Keep it moving, Sean. PRMNT says, Matthew Stafford or Lamar Jackson this week? I'd probably go with Lamar Jackson, especially if in fact we're going to have J.K. Dobbins most likely not playing. That leads me to believe that this is going to be a far more pass-happy offense. I mean, think about it. Look at last season when they didn't have a primary back like Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins in the lineup, and they had to kind of work with the committee. They threw the ball more than they ever have in Lamar Jackson's tenure. They're going to throw the ball probably 30 to 35 times in this game, maybe even 40, which does kind of elevate potential for Mark Andrews, Bateman, Duvernay. But ultimately, when you have rushing upside and passing upside, that takes the cake over Matthew Stafford. Let's see here. The next question that was sent in was from Keegan. Keegan, I appreciate it. Thank you. Says pick a flex. Elijah Moore, Breece Hall, or Julio Jones in a PPR scoring format. I would go Julio Jones this week out of those 3 options. I know Breece Hall had a lot of targets himself. I'm expecting both the targets for Michael Carter and Breece Hall to go down. I don't think we're going to see another 16 targets distributed to those running backs this week. That number is going to kind of go down, and obviously Michael Carter will most likely be the main benefactor of that. But between Elijah Moore and Julio Jones, if Tom Brady is going to have to deal with the fact that Mike Evans is being locked down by his kryptonite, Marshawn Lattimore on one side of the field, we have a already kind of hobbled offense with Russell Gage, Leonard Fournette, no starting left tackle. Donovan Smith is most likely going to be out. I'm assuming that Julio is going to have to step up and have a good game here for them to kind of elevate. Somebody in the chat said Michael Carter or Breece Hall. I'm expecting Michael Carter to be the guy that maintains the 60% of the snap count. So I'd go there. Freiermuth or Schultz. I'd play Schultz there. Again, guys, not yesterday, 2 days ago, Thursday, I posted a video that had Darren Waller on the thumbnail. It is quarterback and tight end rankings. So that'll probably be your best bet to go check that out. Otherwise, tomorrow morning we'll update the rankings. But for right now, Sam, 3610, who asked in the chat, I would go with Schultz this week with Cooper Rush instead of Freiermuth against a pretty difficult New England matchup. Markel Adams, thank you very much for the donation. I greatly appreciate it. Full PPR, Jeff Wilson Jr., Ramondre Stevenson, or Corey Davis. I'd probably play Jeff Wilson. I'd rather have the primary starting running back of a team rather than, I mean, look, Stevenson right now is a play like if you're in a deeper league and you're desperate enough to where you need to play him, by all means, we go for it. Otherwise, he's kind of like a wait, let's see what the heck happens kind of player. Even though I am confident with him, there are some circumstances where I'm comfortable enough just playing him regardless. So as of right now, in comparison to Davis, which I'm not too interested in rolling with again, you could go after Davis. Again, he did see a pretty good target count, but I'm not 100% confident on the matter. I'd just rather play Jeff Wilson there. Frank the Tank says Gabe Davis or Marquise Hollywood Brown. I'd rather play Gabe Davis. If he's healthy, I'd rather have him in the lineup. Thank you. Jay says half PPR Sutton, Judy, MT, Brandon Cooks, Kareem Hunt, pick 3. Okay, if we're playing in a half PPR, those are our available options. We are most likely, oh man, you have really good options that kind of messes this whole thing up. I'd probably play Michael Thomas, Sutton, and Judy. All 3 of those guys. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. B Van says, I traded Michael Carter and Thielen for Herbert and Ayuk. Tell me I didn't mess up. Good sir. I had Dak down and with Wentz and Winston as a backup option. Traded Michael Carter and Adam Thielen for Herbert and Ayuk. Only time will tell. I mean, obviously that Herbert injury is going to be one that may hold him out for some time, guys. Rib cartilage injuries are no joke. Last time I saw at least a player with a rib cartilage injury was 2020. Cam Akers missed like 3 weeks because of it. But again, it's a different position. Running backs get hit far more. But still, it's a lot of pain management. So I'm going to assume that Herbert may miss some time. But after you get him back, you should be fine. In terms of the trade overall, I mean, I think Ayuk has upside. It's just a matter of what the heck that offense looks like in the coming weeks. We'll have to wait and see. Kryptonite, LOL. Yeah, listen, I'm telling you. Marshawn Lattimore has really done it to Mike Evans. Let me go find the stat here. I believe I could find it here. Yeah, here we go. All right, so Mike Evans game logs versus the New Orleans Saints. since 2014. So let's, oh my God. You know what? I'm just going to put this in the chat. This is what I mean when I say kryptonite. Okay? That's what I mean when I say kryptonite. Purely Mike Evans, for some reason, he just can't get it done. He'll score a couple touchdowns every now and then, but as of late, since 2019, he just doesn't do anything against the New Orleans Saints, and it's purely because of Marshawn Lattimore. It is what it is. All right, continuing on. Let's see here. Ben says Higgins, Mooney, Elijah Moore. I play Higgins there. Thank you very much, Ben. I appreciate the donation. Ken1234 says 10-team PPR. I already have Mike Williams and Eckler play. Okay, very well. So you have a pretty good start to the week. Who do I start at the wide receiver and flex positions? We have Mike Evans, we have Christian Kirk, and we have Gabe Davis. Listen, the typical play would be, hey, let's play our studs. Let's play Mike Evans and let's play Gabe Davis, and we're good to go. And that's probably where I would lean you in the direction of. But it is so hard to sit Mike Evans on the bench because we know what he's capable of. We know he could very easily have 15 fantasy points, but is the likelihood going to be there? So in a full PPR, I wouldn't mind going Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis and rolling it out there. It may be crazy to not start your stud, but I'm almost in that position where I'm thinking that may be the better play. Markel Adams says Josh Jacobs or Henderson this week in a standard scoring format. I'd rather have Josh Jacobs this week. Thank you. Let's see here. Kevin says Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, Cordero Patterson. Pick one wide receiver and one flex. If I'm picking a wide receiver out of the two, I'm most likely, let me think here. Would I rather play him against the Patriots or him? I'd rather go with Brandon Cooks over Deontay Johnson. And then if I'm playing a flex, I'd rather play Deontay Johnson over Cordero Patterson. As much as I like Cordero, I just don't know if I can roll with that again and hope for him to have a similar week to what he just did against the New Orleans Saints. It's just kind of that was an anomaly to say the very least. Let's see here. Corey says Trey Lance in the rain or Carson Wentz versus Detroit. I would most likely go with Carson Wentz versus Detroit. Yeah, let's go with Carson Wentz there. Antonio says Fournette, Chubb, Taylor, Connor, Gibson, Robinson. Pick three. I mean, I think this is pretty easy. You play Taylor, you play Chubb, and now I understand your problem. Dude, why do you have such a good team? Like Connor, Gibson, and Fournette, dude, trade these guys, get better wide receivers. I play Gibson as a third guy there, actually. I play Gibson over Taylor and, sorry. Redact that. I play Chubb and Taylor, and I play Gibson over Connor and Fournette. Gavin says Stafford or Kyler Murray in a regular league, and then we have Cup. I play Cup/Kittle. I'm still playing Kyler over Matthew Stafford this week, Gavin. Appreciate it. Amir says half PPR, Higgins or Hollywood Brown as my wide receiver too. I play Higgins there if he's healthy. If you want to play Hollywood Brown, you can. I just think it's a tougher matchup overall. You also have Mixon. Yeah, I don't mind stacking multiple members of a singular offense if I know they're going to play well. And against Dallas, I expect them to purely. Tanner says, if Kamara is out, who do you like more? A.J. Dillon, Kareem Hunt, or Darrell Henderson? Okay, between those three, I would rather play A.J. Dillon or Darrell Henderson. I'll probably wait on Kareem Hunt. I think those 2 touchdowns he scored certainly saved his week. I'd probably go with A.J. Dillon most likely. Also need a flex. DJ, where is it? It got cut off. DJ Moore, Marquise Hollywood Brown, Brandon Cooks, or one of the other running backs I mentioned. Okay, cool. So if this is the case, Tanner, I would play Henderson in the flex and A.J. Dillon as your running back. That's what I would do. Joshua Murphy says half PPR, Kareem, Hunt, Henderson, Jacobs. As of right now, I think I have it ranked as of updated rankings, not Tuesday rankings. Jacobs, Henderson, Kareem Hunt, Zeke in that exact order. So do with that what you will, Joshua. If you're playing 3 of those guys, it's Jacobs, Henderson, and then Kareem. Thank you. Matthew Kroll says, I need 2 running backs in the flex. Okay, I need 2 running backs in one singular flex. We're in a half PPR scoring format. Zeke, Jacobs, Damian Harris, Jeff Wilson, Melvin Gordon, Tyler. Okay. Take it easy. What the heck is this whole team? All right, so of the available options that you've mentioned, Jacobs gets a play. Jeff Wilson gets a play. Those are your 2 running backs. As for your flex this week, am I really going? Yeah, I mean, at this point, in a half PPR, I'm thinking I'd rather play Damian Harris or Melvin Gordon over those other options. because touchdown upside isn't a guarantee for Tyler Boyd if, in fact, we have Higgins back. So, yeah, I'm probably playing Damian Harris in the flex there. So, it's Jacobs, Harris, and Wilson there. Matthew, appreciate it. Dead Meme says, for the flex, do I play Zeke, Bateman, or Penny? Zeke, Bateman, or Penny? I'm probably going with Penny. It's Penny, Bateman, Zeke in that order. Thank you. Assuming that's a half PPR. Full PPR, I could consider Bateman. But again, that's a consideration, not a guarantee. JC says PPR, Thielen, London, or Shepard. Ooh, wow. Let's go Thielen. Let's just play Thielen there. I like Shepard a lot, but I don't know if it's more of a guarantee than a Thielen play here. True Gentleman for you says Pittman is down. Do I play Campbell or Thielen? I play. Wow, actually a good question. Do I play Campbell or Thielen? That one I think we'll have it figured out on tomorrow's rankings. I'm most likely going to say Thielen's the play. But again, guys, just a reminder, okay? Because I know there's about, let's see here. What the heck is my YouTube? It's about 700 of you in here. First and foremost, okay, thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate the 121 of you who have already clicked the like button. I greatly appreciate you guys helping the channel out in that regard. Tomorrow morning, we will be live streaming here on the channel from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, that's 11 to 1 East Coast. So if you guys want updated rankings at running back, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, as of tomorrow morning, these will be available. So questions like Campbell or Thielen will very easily be answered tomorrow because I guarantee you I have both of them in my top 36. As to which one, True Gentleman, I know you've been around the channel for a while, so I can assume that you'll be here tomorrow morning. I don't even know for sure which one I can pinpoint and say, yeah, that's the guy I'm playing. Because I think they're both good options. So as of right now, we'll leave that for tomorrow. True Gentleman, I appreciate it. Thank you. Colin Smith says, what's your outlook on Pickens? Worth stashing? I don't know if it's worth stashing at this point. I think Pickens is most likely a guy that would elevate if an injury was to happen to the other receiving members of this offense. Until then, it's most likely going to be a guy that isn't worth stashing in a league, especially if you only have like 5 bench spots. Not worth it. Steven sends in a donation. Thank you. Says, with Pittman out, who should I start? Duvernay, Edmonds, Thielen, Jamal Williams, 10-team full PPR. I don't want to play Williams. I don't want to play Duvernay. It's between Thielen and Edmonds in a full PPR 10-team. I'd rather play Chase Edmonds there. Thank you. Let's see here. Jack Turner says Kittle or Pitts. I don't even know if Kittle's playing. Even if he does, I'm too worried about it. I'd rather just go Pitts there. Thank you. Gunky says PPR. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. We have Henry, Kamara, Hunt, Jacobs, Patterson, Evans, Higgins, Allen Robinson. Okay, so if we're playing 2 running backs, it's Henry. And it's most likely Jacobs as the second guy there. And then wide receivers are Williams and Higgins. Sorry, not Williams. Evans and Higgins. And then in the flex, I probably play Kamara. If Kamara can't go, you swap him out for Hunt. Thank you. Let's see. What do we have here? Dean of Deans says full PPR, flex. Do I go with Robbie Anderson or Drake London? Good question. As of right now, I'd probably say I'm comfortable with either of them. I don't have like a for sure stance to support one over the other. I'd say that Robbie Anderson's overall fantasy point total was elevated because of a singular play. Now, if that potential is greater once again this week, then Drake London having himself a 60-yard bomb for a touchdown, sure, it could give us more credence to playing Robbie Anderson. But for right now, I'd probably feel more. I probably feel safer in a full PPR just off of base floor with Drake London. Kevin says in a question, says Winston or Brady? Winston or Brady? I still play Brady there. I think he could very easily get the yardage there. Winston's a very tricky scenario because, again, up until the final quarter of that game, he did not look good overall. He just didn't look and play well. Maybe he was working off the dust, but I'm still going Brady there for right now. Christian sends in a question, says pick one for my flex, non-PPR. Of those that you mentioned, Christian, I would play Waddle over Harris and London. Thank you. Alrighty, we've almost caught up here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to draft some teams on screen. Criminal Kids says, I was offered Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, and James Robinson for Chubb, Hollywood, and Mooney. Do I take it? In a full PPR, I'm downgrading at wide receiver for a bit, but I like Najee's receiving upside. So you're being offered Najee Harris for that for that, and that for that. Yeah, I don't mind that trade. I'll take that. I mean, again, I had Najee Harris higher ranked than Nick Chubb in my preseason rankings. Hollywood was a little bit higher than Deontay, but that's not a big deal. And with James Robinson, the way that he's looked specifically, I don't mind getting that extra running back depth on your team and getting a little bit of an upgrade there at running back. Appreciate it. Ronald Johnson says Mark Ingram if Kamara is out, or Michael Carter. Michael Carter, undoubtedly. I do not want to play Mark Ingram against Tampa Bay. Doesn't seem like an interesting prospect to me at this point. Anybody you play against Tampa Bay on the ground is not going to typically find much success. Jacob T says CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Marquise Hollywood Brown, pick 2. I'm playing Jeudy and I'm playing Marquise Hollywood Brown. Appreciate that, Jacob. Okay, let's see here. What do we got in the chat? Full PPR, we have Higgins or Davis. I think I still have them relatively normalized as Higgins and then Davis right after him in a full PPR. Would you stash Isaiah Likely? I think it's like a scenario where he could get more snaps as time progresses, but he still is a rookie tight end. Rookie tight ends outside of last season are typically not something that we can guarantee in a year to find success. Kyle Pitts, Pat Freiermuth, those guys are outliers in the grand scheme. I know it's associated to an offense that likes to use the tight end position, but from what we saw in terms of snap counts and opportunity in week 1, don't think it's worth a bench spot to hold a backup tight end who may not even get touches. I'd rather go after a guy that may be on the fringe, Logan Thomas, Robert Tonyan, that could end up being one of those guys that have, top 12 upside at the tight end position going forward. CD, Woods, or Cooper? I'd rather play CD Lamb over Woods and Cooper. Appreciate it. Full PPR. Okay, we did that. Waddle, Jeudy, Mike. Okay, one wide receiver, one flex. If you're playing a wide receiver out of this group, dude, I think I'm actually moving Mike Evans down my board a lot. If I'm picking one, I'm probably playing Waddle. And then if I'm picking a flex, I'm probably playing Henderson. Let's see here. Clayton sent in a donation. Thank you, Clayton. I appreciate it. Curtis Samuel or Thielen? Curtis Samuel for Thielen. Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm okay with that. Don't mind that at all. Okay, let's see. Elijah Moore, Rashad Penny, or Brandon Ayuk in the flex? Probably go Rashad Penny there. Yeah, Zach Wilson or Dak Prescott? Mike Tyson or Logan Paul? What kind of questions are these? Which injured quarterback are we playing, or which? Okay, first of all, if, for example, Mike Tyson was to fight Logan Paul, Mike Tyson would actually win. Like, I don't know what we're talking about. I don't care if he's 60 years old, he'll get the job done. I mean, it's just in his blood. It's in his bones to be a fighter, right? He has so much repetition already built into him. It's just built-in nature for him to be in that. Henry Odom sends in a donation, says, I'm weak at wide receiver. I need to make a trade. I have Hurts, Eckler, Barkley, Pittman, Sutton, Kelsey, Bateman, Chark, Lance, Madison, Edmonds, and Dillon. Do I trade? Yeah, you can trade, but I don't know what you're trading. Like, at this point, I want to keep Eckler, Barkley, and I want to keep Dillon. Those are the primary 3 backs you should use all year. You don't want to move Kelsey. You don't want to move Sutton. You don't want to move Hurts. Lance needs to gain value for him to be a tradable piece. Otherwise, you have to trade Bateman and Chase Edmonds. If you want to trade both of them to go get a wide receiver, you can. Otherwise, you just keep Bateman and roll for it and just kind of hope for the best. Sonny D says Waddle or Sutton in a flex. I'd probably play Sutton there. In a half PPR, yeah, I play Sutton. Let's see here. Should I trade away Eckler? No. I wouldn't. Is he going to bust again and not have, any points? That's up to the fullback. Again, the team looks like they don't want to hand him off the ball on the goal line, which doesn't really make any sense to me. Hopefully they'll learn from their mistakes and kind of right the ship as we go forward. But as of right now, no, I'm not trading Eckler. It would kind of be hard to trade Eckler too, because you're not going to get as much value back for him in comparison to what he could potentially produce in the upcoming weeks here. All right, give me 1 second, guys. I got to check something out. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to prepare a couple things here. Can I? Okay, beautiful. So, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to still answer questions, but I want to hop on Underdog, show you guys a couple pick'ems that I like a little bit more than I did yesterday because numbers have kind of shifted in terms of the higher or lowers. So, let's go ahead and let's do that real quick. So if we go here, I believe this is the correct one. I believe it is. Awesome. So if I move myself out of the way here a little bit, kind of give you an idea as to what the heck we're looking at. Right there's fine. All right. So as of right now on Underdog, okay, we have a couple pick'ems here. We have Mike Evans, 14.75 fantasy points. Okay, I sent that link in the chat just like 10 minutes ago. Okay, in terms of Mike Evans and his recent performances against the New Orleans Saints. Okay, nothing in that, I mean, let's see here. What's the closest game in the last? Okay, so in 2020, he had a game of 4 catches, 64, not close. Last year, he had a game of 2 catches, 48, and a touchdown. That basically, even in a half PPR, doesn't get him into the conversation. The last time he was actually able to get that many points against the Saints was literally back in 2018, September, where he had 7 catches for 147 and a touchdown. It has been a while, so I'm going lower on that. That's just my opinion. That's where I'm going to go with it. Just giving you guys some heads up. As for Jonathan Taylor, now there's a reason why I have him on the screen. So Jonathan Taylor right now, with no Michael Pittman, with no Alec Pierce, they're going to have to continue to run the ball. So the idea of 22 rushing attempts coming off of a week in which he had 30 rushing attempts, yeah, I'll take the higher on that. And then we have James Conner. Let me move over a little bit. I'm going higher on his receiving yard total. Again, when he's been the primary receiving back of this offense, that number is way higher than when there's Chase Edmonds involved. I'm not too worried about Eno Benjamin. Again, Eno Benjamin only came in when it was a matter of, hey, we're getting into a situation where this is garbage time. And then we have T. Higgins with 58.5 receiving yards. I'm taking the higher on that. I don't know why you would have it lower. He's going to be cleared off of concussion protocol. I'll take these 4 guys. These are some of the ones that I liked a little bit more. Again, there are a lot. I mean, literally a lot. Well, actually, let's scroll back up to the very top. There are a lot of pick'ems for this week. So again, if you guys want to check that out, you can go ahead, sign up via Underdog Fantasy. There's a link down in the description. When you use promo code Andrew to make a first-time deposit, you'll be given a first-time deposit match up to $100, so it can start you off right. I'm gonna go ahead, make a bet for this real quick. Boom, bing, bop. I'm leaving the insurance on, guys. I'm getting paranoid after a while. Okay, we'll use the insurance this week. If anything goes wrong in the coming weeks, then I'll figure it out, and maybe I'll stop being so finicky about it. Either way, we're gonna go ahead and I'll start drafting teams and get back into the chat. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go here real quick. Alrighty, so we're gonna enter the $5 battle royale for this weekend, and then I'll be drafting here, answering questions in the meanwhile. Again, it's a $5 entry. Draft against a bunch of other teams. I actually ended up breaking even last week. I think I had 4 drafts on stream. I think I made a little bit more than I ended up putting into it. Not a bad week last week. I had a couple rosters, one of them with Kelsey, Justin Jefferson, and some other running back that popped off. Pretty good week. Okay, let's see here. Chat says, Andrew, who are your top 5 defenses and kickers this week? We'll answer that tomorrow morning on our live stream. So be sure to tune in, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, kickoff with Kirchhoff. As of right now, we will need to readjust that because weather is definitely going to be concerned for some of those kickers. And defenses, because weather could very easily help a defense play better if the offense isn't able to get it going. So we'll adjust that according to what the weather looks like tomorrow morning. But for right now, be sure to tune in tomorrow. All right, so there was a couple donations sent here. I have a 3rd pick overall, huh? We're going to try something a little bit spicier. I think I'm going to start with a wide receiver, unless they want to go ahead and give me Jonathan Taylor versus Jacksonville, but we'll see. Okay, let's see here. What are the donations that were just sent into the chat? Okay, Tim James. Oh, actually, no, there's a lot more than that. So we'll go all the way to the top. So we did send these questions. Silver Soul Jones, thank you. Says, hey, bro, I sent you a super chat earlier. Thanks, full PPR. Silver Soul, where in the heck did you send that, my guy? Because you're not on this list. Maybe I missed it. Let's scroll to the top. Okay. I'll be able to find that in a second here. They actually gave me Jonathan Taylor. It's either Jonathan Taylor or I go Adams. Let's just assume that I can find more running back value later on in this draft. Let's just take Adams and let's see how this goes, shall we? I'm actually curious as to what a wide receiver start would look like here. All right, Silver Soul, I'm going to get to your question. Let me see if I can find it, though, because, again, if you sent it in before the stream started, it's going to take a little while for me to go find it. So let me see what I can do here. Let's see here, Silver Soul. Where are you on this list, my guy? Silver Soul sent in that recently, but where is Silver? There we go. Found it. Thank you. Okay, so there were actually a couple of you who sent in donations even before the stream started. So now I see them. Now I will be able to answer them. Here we go. So we had Johnny5659 say, good afternoon, Andrew. Have been loving the new graphics and the content this year. I appreciate that. Am I almost on the clock? Yes. Who should I start in the flex instead of Pittman? Do I play Bateman, Jeff Wilson Jr., or Drake? I played Jeff Wilson Jr. there. Thank you very much, Johnny5659. Sorry for the delay to answer. Again, if you guys send those in before the stream starts, it's pretty tough for me to get back to them. Appreciate it. Youngberg4. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It says, Andrew, am I flexing Najee Harris or Mike Evans? I'd flex Najee Harris there. Of the available running backs, wow. Okay, we have Swift there. I don't like the offensive line dealio as of right now in terms of like ultimate upside. Is there a tight end that's a stud still remaining? Yeah, but I don't want to stack up too much there. Do I want to play Swift with a beat up offensive line versus Washington, or I'm going to play Javonte? Let's just see how this goes. By the way I'm building teams here, guys, is because I'm trying to be the number one team out of like 1,000 entries, right? So you have to be a little bit diverse in the way that you build your team instead of just like picking the best available. Sometimes the best available doesn't always score the most, as we've seen on multiple occasions. Okay, so Youngberg, we're going to go with Najee over Evans. And then your follow-up question was A.J. Dillon or DJ Moore in the flex. I'd rather play A.J. Dillon there. Thank you. Silver Soul, we're back to your question. Dillon, Hunt, Hall, Edmonds, Stevenson, Elijah Moore, pick 2. Dillon, Hunt, Hall, Edmonds, Stevenson, Elijah Moore. Dillon and Hunt. Those are the two that I feel most comfortable with in that regard. Thank you. All right, so now I'm looking at wide receiver again and most likely thinking that I can get value later on in this draft. So we'll go ahead and probably just lock down a stud quarterback at this point. Is there a tight end available that it's worth it? Yeah, there is. Okay, we're just going to double up here. I'm just going to make a full Raiders team. I'll go Waller there. Okay, back to the chat. Okay, so let's see here. What other donations were sent in? Did I miss anything else? Okay. Dale Derek says, PPR, my bad. Lamar Jackson versus the Dolphins matchup worried me. And Carson has a good matchup. No, you're good to go. I mean, it's still play Lamar. No questions asked. We're still good with Lamar going forward. Tim Jones says, Hollywood or Higgins? Kamara or Sanders? Kamara or Sanders? If Kamara is healthy, I'd rather play him. Otherwise, I'm playing Higgins over Hollywood as well. Thank you. Tommy said, who should I play in a full PPR? Kamara, Patterson, Penny. Okay, so of the available options, we don't know if J.K. Dobbins is playing. We don't know if Kamara is playing. So if I was to pick between the available options that you have that could end up being the guy, I'd probably end up just rolling with Patterson there in a full PPR. And then you'd be pretty good to go. If Kamara plays, you can play him. I would probably want to play him, but again, it's really risky. I don't know what capacity he's going to be at. I just hate that the fact that we're getting to this position already by week 2. It's pretty brutal. I think I might just literally stack an entire team of Raiders. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy to do so. Henderson's here. We have Jacobs way lower. Najee Harris is on the bottom here. Give me Najee Harris. Let's just not mess around here. Okay, the next question came in from Cole Grant. Thank you. Half PPR. Stash Robert Tonyan or Sterling Shepard. Start Melvin Gordon or Montgomery. Start Montgomery. Your stash at tight end. I think it's probably better to stash the tight end there if, in fact, you have a tight end on your roster that you're looking to potentially even replace in the future. Red Boy says Kareem Hunt or Cordero Patterson in the flex. Kareem Hunt or Cordero Patterson in the flex. If you play in a half PPR, I'd probably play Kareem Hunt. If you play in a full, I'd probably go Cordero. Corey Davis or Dortch. I'd probably rather feel more comfortable playing Dortch this week for Arizona. Nel Santiago, welcome back. Nice to see you, my man. What do we have here? Burrow, Brady, Lance, Wentz, Okay, let's play Burrow. And then we're going to come back around and we're going to grab a wide receiver to finish this one. Nels, nice to see you. Full PPR, need 3 Henderson, Metcalf, Dillon, Allen Robinson. Okay. I would play Henderson, Dillon, and Allen Robinson out of the potential options you mentioned, Nels. Thank you. Andrew Hehe says, or Andrew Hi says, Pittman is down. Should I play Brandon Ayuk or Miles Sanders in the flex? I'd play Miles Sanders in the flex. I don't know about the weather in California tomorrow. So as of right now, I'm thinking that Brandon Ayuk, I mean, we can't even trust Trey Lance in the weather game anymore, especially if it's raining. Like at this point, everything that happened last week kind of gives us an indication as to what the heck could potentially happen this week again. I know it's not going to be a monsoon, but still may be enough to kind of lean me off of that direction. Jay Relo says, trade T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Lockett, and Eckler for Kupp, Dillon, and Godwin. My remaining running backs would be Javonte, Hunt, Pollard. Okay, let's see here. So if you're getting rid of Higgins and Eckler, you're getting back Kupp, Dillon, Godwin. I would say off of off the fact that Chris Godwin is still hurt, it is most likely a scenario where that is going to be a trade where you're losing now, but probably gaining. No, actually, I'd probably just keep what you have. I don't know if I want to give up all that. If Godwin was healthy, I'd say yes. But considering he's not, and I don't know what the timeline is, it's tough to pull that one off. Someone in the chat says, it's nice in Cali right now. Listen, dude, I'm in Cali. I know it's nice over here, but everything is saying that the weather is going to be a complete mess tomorrow. So we're reserving our expectations until what we see tomorrow morning. Of the available options, who has the most upside for a touchdown? Probably Brandon Cooks. We'll just close it out there. Somebody in the chat said, is Taysom Hill a sneaky tight end play? If in fact, excuse me, Christmas, I almost said Allen Robinson, Alvin Kamara is not available for the team, I think that is when we are comfortable playing the one and only Taysom Hill. At that point, I'd feel comfortable. What is this? Double doink? What do we have? What games are in this slate? All of them? Perfect. Let's run into this one. So as of right now, I would say that if Alvin Kamara is out, I play Taysom Hill. Outside of that, we'll see. Devontae Smith or Antonio? Antonio what? Gibson? Yeah, I'd play Antonio Gibson 100%. I don't want to play Devontae Smith. Let's see here. This is a question from Benny. He says, Dortch, Jeff Wilson Jr., or Paris Campbell, or Singletary? Jeff Wilson most likely gets the nod there. As of right now in a half PPR. Julio Jones or Bateman in a PPR? Probably Julio. Yeah, I'd go Julio there. KJ Osborne or Zach Moss if Gabe Davis is out. If Gabe Davis is out, I'd rather play Isaiah McKenzie, but I know you didn't say that. I would probably play Zach Moss in that regard then. I don't think KJ Osborne is as immediate of a start at this point. I don't really like Zach Moss either, but that would be the best case scenario. Okay, let's see here. Allen Robinson or Ramondre Stevenson? I'd play Allen Robinson. Josh Jacobs or Jamal Williams? If Swift doesn't play, no. Swift is going to play. He fully participated in Friday's practice, their pleb night. So I'd play Josh Jacobs. Tarek Santana, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. Hey, man, loving the content. Would you play Brady over Lance at quarterback and then pick 2 of the following? Higgins, Cooks, Deontay Johnson. If we're picking 2 out of the available wide receiver options, it's a matter of, let me think here. Where the heck is this? Okay, so Lance over Brady. Let me actually look up NFL weather report. What does it actually say that the weather is going to look like tomorrow for this San Francisco game? All right, it says possible rain, possible light rain. I mean, what is the percentage of it raining? 30. It's a 30 to 25% chance of it actually raining tomorrow in San Francisco, compared to last week, which was a 60% chance in Chicago. Do I rather play Trey Lance over Brady? Yes, I still would rather do that. If you're worried about it, don't follow my directions. And then as for your other options, Higgins, Cooks, Deontay. Higgins, Cooks, Deontay, and that is for what scoring format? I'm going to assume that you're asking for a full PPR because a lot of people usually do. Of those available guys in a full PPR, we have Deontay ahead of Cooks and we have Higgins ahead of both of them. So it would be Deontay and Higgins. Thank you. Is this draft going to fill up? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. Well, actually, yeah, we'll just leave it here while I answer questions. Antonio Garcia, thank you very much for the donation. Greatly appreciated, my man. Says full PPR, start Gabe Davis or Bateman. I'm playing Gabe Davis. Or should I roll the dice and wait until Monday? If Davis is out, pick up McKenzie. Yeah, I'm of the belief that because of the fact that Davis was limited in the walkthrough practice today, that he's gonna play. So I'm not really worried about him. I would play him. And you do have the potential of McKenzie, so yeah, makes it that much more of a stabilized play there. Pukes2x says Stevenson. Okay, interesting. Curtis Samuel, Brendan Ayuk, Jacoby Myers. Of those available, I'd go Curtis Samuel. Thank you. Tej says Chubb Kittle, and Elijah Moore for Saquon and Kyle Pitts. Chubb Kittle, Elijah Moore, Saquon Pitts. Yeah, I'll take that. Give me Saquon and Pitts the rest of the season. I'll take that. Thank you. Alrighty, let's see here. What else do we have here? Gareth says, I'm from the UK, Wales. Okay, interesting. Thank you for supporting all the way out there. Your question was Moore or Deontay Johnson? DJ Moore or Deontay Johnson? I played Deontay Johnson this week. Thank you. Cordero Patterson or Sutton in the flex? Pepe, I'd play Sutton there. Okay, is this thing going to fill up? Maybe I just go ahead, leave this one, because you can leave, and then go back to the Battle Royale and just hop into this $5 one again. It's probably easier this way. It probably fills up quicker. Metcalf or Michael Carter in the PPR? Michael Carter. Garrett Wilson or Treylon Burks? Garrett Wilson. I don't want to play Treylon Burks against Buffalo. Buffalo secondary is far too good at football just to kind of play a rookie against them that's getting limited, snaps, touches, all that kind of stuff. Kareem Hunt or Kirk in a PPR? I'm probably thinking, just the fact that I had to think about it makes you know that it's already like a close play there. I'm probably going to go with Christian Kirk there over Kareem Hunt in a full PPR. Where are your QB ranks at? Mark, there was a video that I posted on Thursday. It has Darren Waller on the thumbnail. The title of it is Tight End and Quarterback Rankings. You can go ahead, travel to that video. It's on the channel. Check that one out. It does have quarterback rankings available. Top 16. Thank you. A.J. Dillon or Cortland Sutton and a half? Probably A.J. Dillon. Henderson or Hunt? Henderson. Michael Pittman is out. Do I go with Devonta Smith, Sterling Shepard, Chris Olave, or Garrett Wilson? I'd play Sterling Shepard, to be totally honest. But I may be a little bit crazy. I think the safest play out of the group is probably Garrett Wilson, but I want to play Sterling in that regard. Renfro or Dotson in a full PPR? I'd play Jahan Dotson. I don't know if Renfro is going to see enough targets to make him a viable enough option. Maybe it was just a matchup last week that kind of rendered him a little bit less of a value, but as of right now, I'm thinking Jahan Dotson's probably got more upside there. And maybe even a decent floor. Okay, Jaden Thornton says, full PPR, 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver in a flex. DeAndre Swift, Najee Harris. Okay, those are your 2 running backs. Darrell Henderson in the flex. That works. Oh, wow. Never mind. You have so many better options. What the heck happened? Holy moly, your team is stacked. Okay, so we're playing Dillon in the flex there. And then we're going on ahead and we're playing Swift and Najee Harris as your starting backs. Henderson has to probably take the back seat there. And then in terms of wide receiver play, it's probably Evans. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Jaden. Matthew Nowak says, what can I expect in return from Cordero Patterson? Trade? Ooh, wait, did I just auto pick? Hey, you know what? Whatever. We're going to take it. I didn't even notice what the heck was happening. We'll take it. Whatever. What can you expect to get in a return for a Cordero Patterson trade? I would hope that you can maybe upsell him and go get Josh Jacobs. Legitimately. That's my hope. But, again, it depends on what your league mates value him at. Do they think he's a, one-game wonder, or can he do it and duplicate it again? Take Joe Mixon there. We're just pretty much stacking on Cincinnati Bengals this time around, huh? Okay, let's see here. Freiermuth or Kittle? If Kittle plays, I'd rather play him. I don't like Fryermuth's matchup pretty much this week. I think he could still have value, but it's tough. By the way, you said my name right the first time. It's Hee. Okay, got it. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it. CB says Kareem Hunt, Darrell Henderson, or Kamara start too. Listen, I don't know if Kamara's playing. Tomorrow morning, we'll have a better indication. As of right now, you should probably just have Darrell Henderson and Kareem Hunt in the lineup. And if something changes tomorrow, then we can put, Kamara in. But for right now, I'd probably play those two other options until we get further notice as to whether or not Kamara is actually at a full capacity or even playing. The Water Bearer says Ertz, Bateman, or Landry in the flex PPR. I honestly feel like Ertz is a really good play there. Otherwise, it's Landry. Do I rather play Ertz in a full PPR over Landry after the week he just had? Questions. What do I want to do here? I still want to get a good tight end here. Let's take Waller. I want to play Ertz over Landry. Probably not. So let's just play Landry there in the flex, but it's close. I mean, I'm considering Ertz there just because of the matchup against Las Vegas. Andrew he says Chubb or Barkley rest of the season. Barkley. Yep, that was the way it was before the season started, and after week 1, it certainly continues to hold pace. Ryan Walton says 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. We have Michael Thomas, Gabriel Davis, Alvin Kamara in a full PPR. I'd probably just play those 2 wide receivers again until we have a for sure indication as to whether or not Kamara is playing. I don't know if I can play him over Michael Thomas in the flex there. Again, it's tough, especially considering it's a tough matchup already against Tampa Bay, and he's dealing with an injury. It's like a double whammy as to why you might want to just sit him and wait until next week until he's healthy, if he's healthy. Also, do I dare start Hill over Schultz if Kamara sits? Considering you have Schultz, I'd say no. If you had another lesser option, let's say, for example, you had like Njoku or Logan Thomas, I'd probably risk it at that point. Who do I want to draft here? Do I want to take another wide receiver? Let's go ahead. Looking at the available options here, I'm not too convinced. So let's just grab a quarterback and just let it ride here. Okay, what else do we have in terms of questions? Sean says Cooks, Michael Thomas, or Deontay Johnson. I'm pretty sure I'm going Michael Thomas there. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Devin says, should I start Bateman or for Lazard? Should I start Bateman for Lazard? Sorry, should I trade? I didn't even see that. Trade Bateman for Lazard. No. Again, I like Lazard, but I don't even know if he's healthy at this point. You might be able to get another big week out of Bateman here. If you think Bateman is like already washed and you're not really interested and you kind of want to sell high off that week 1 performance, even though it's not really sell high-able considering he only had 2 catches for 150-yard bomb, you could go for it. But I mean, again, there's a lot of inherent risk there with Lazard, injury status, and whether or not he actually becomes the number 1. I'm expecting him to become the number 1. There's just no guarantee of it. Dropping Donuts says Devontae Adams for Saquon Barkley full PPR. If you want the running back depth and it doesn't kill your wide receiver position much, then yeah, I'd go for it. In a full PPR, actually, hold on, let me think about this. In a full PPR, I'm pretty sure I had Saquon Barkley lower than Devontae Adams preseason ranks. But again, if you want the running back stability, it's available there, so you can go for it. All right, Ulysses Ventura says, all my wide receiver ones are injured. Okay, my 12-team league. Which 3 am I starting? Of the 3 options that you mentioned, I'd rather play Julio Jones. Then I would drop AJ Green and go pick up Dortch off of the waivers from Arizona. And then your 3rd option, I'd go drop Kadarius Toney and pick up Sterling Shepard. Now, if you can't do any of those and you have to play 3 of these 4, I'd play Olave, Julio, and AJ Green. Thank you. Okay. Luis says, hey, Andrew. People dropped Ayuk, Akers, Waller, and Damien. Wait. People dropped Walker. Okay, I thought I said Waller for a second. My dyslexia is kicking in. Wow, that would have been scary. Santa Clara is always warmer and sunnier in San Francisco, and today is a sunny day in San Francisco. All right, we're going to hope that it maintains as such. Thank you very much for the intel there, 415 Giant. Appreciate it. Who do I pick up rest this season? I have solid wide receivers and running backs. Of the players that you mentioned, if I'm picking up one rest this season, I'd rather have either Cam Akers or Damian Harris right now it's probably Harris because he's still the number one of his team, and Ty Montgomery just went down. So I'd probably say let's go Harris as the guy that you might want to go pick up there. I know you have Hunt, Jacobs, Cooks, and Hines, but to be honest, it's always good to have more RB depth because of the injuries that take place. Again, we're already flustered with figuring out what the heck Alvin Kamara's deal is going into this upcoming week. Again, hopefully by tomorrow morning, we will have a better indication of what is going on in regards to him and whether he's even playing. Flex Melvin Gordon or Breece Hall. Probably Melvin Gordon in a half PPR standard, Breece Hall in a full PPR. Yeah, that's probably the way I'd go with it. Should we look to trade Eckler away? No, I wouldn't. You got to have diamond hands. If you have diamond hands, you keep Eckler, you're good to go. If you are someone that wants, if you play in a league where you think that the Eckler manager wants to trade him away, guys, go and trade for Eckler. That is the point on which I'm at. If y'all don't remember last season, there were a lot of running backs that didn't score touchdowns early in the year. One mainly was Jonathan Taylor. If you guys remember, at the first 3 weeks of last season, Jonathan Taylor was a dud. By all extensive purposes, oh, what the heck am I doing? Okay, let's switch back real quick. By all intents and purposes, he was a dud. What? Okay, that's not the right graphic. That was yesterday's graphic. All right, we're back here. Anyway, dude, we got to stop with the fire emojis, man. The emojis do not help. If anything, the emojis make me want to read it less, guys. Okay? Enough with the emojis, please. What the heck was the question? Now the emojis got me all twisted. Now I'm thinking and my brain is broken. Where were we at? I don't even remember. Okay, let me see here real quick. We're going to move this up onto the screen there. I know there was a couple super chats that came in. We're going to answer that right now. Okay, yeah, so the question was Breece Hall. Okay, we did that. All right, Waz Bomb says flex, full PPR. Zeke, Paris Campbell, Thielen, or Melvin Gordon. In a full PPR, out of the available options that you mentioned, it's either Thielen or Paris Campbell. I had somebody earlier today ask the exact same question, and I opted to say, hey, just wait till tomorrow morning. I will give you that answer on the screen. As of right now, I'm thinking it's probably going to be Paris Campbell, especially in a full PPR, but I can't give you 100% yes, that's going to be the case. But that's where I'm leaning as of right now in my head. Okay, let's see what's going on in this chat. Logan Thomas or Kyle Pitts in a full PPR? I have to play Pitts. He's just a stud. Travis Etienne or Zeke? I play Travis Etienne. I have Eckler. Oh, yeah, we were talking about Eckler. Jiminy Christmas. Guys, last year, let me go find it. Where is the stat? Jonathan Taylor in the first 3 weeks of the season was literally just in the dumps, okay? And what I told you guys early last year, you go to that first trade targets video. I said, go trade for Jonathan Taylor right now. You'll win the league. And that's exactly what happened. And hopefully some of you were able to do so. I know it's difficult to trade for players, but if I go weeks 1 through 3 of last season, half PPR, let's look up Taylor. Last season, for the first 3 weeks of the season, Jonathan Taylor was the number 29 overall back after the first 3 weeks of the year. Eckler is probably going to be in that conversation. I'm telling you, do not throw away Eckler. Do not trade him away. Go and trade for him if you can, guys. Please. Thank you. Let's see here. J-Rob or Jeff Wilson? I'd rather play Jeff Wilson this week. Schultz or Pitts? I'd probably rather play Schultz in a full PPR. Yeah. Gage or Robinson? I'd probably go Robinson. Gage didn't play much last week, and he's still dealing with a similar injury, which keeps me concerned about his availability. Henderson or Breece Hall rest of season? Under the assumption that Cam Akers doesn't come back and Michael Carter disappears, let's say, for example, both those are the case, right? Michael Carter's gone, so Breece Hall's the number one guy, and Henderson's the primary back, and Akers is gone, okay? If we're going head-to-head, I'd rather have Darrell Henderson. Because once, in fact, we have Zach Wilson come back, the receiving upside for these running backs is gone. You know, we may be even at a point where next week, after this game from Michael Carter that we see, we're trading him. Just empty it out, get rid of it. Because as soon as Zach Wilson comes back, we're in trouble. Curtis Samuel or CeeDee Lamb in a half PPR? I currently have Curtis Samuel higher. Hunt or ETN? I play Hunt. Michael Olson, thank you very much. I appreciate the donation and contribution to the channel. There was a couple more donations that I've missed so far, so let's go back up. Vicious Vega says Henderson for T. Higgins in a trade. If you don't need the RB depth, yeah, I would take that. Bashir says send away AJ Brown. Okay. Dylan Henderson for Saquon and Waddle. Oh man. If you have to have really good running back depth to be trading away 2 starters to an extent. I almost think that Dylan may be even taking the starting spot in just a couple weeks here from Aaron Jones, but that is, remain to be seen. But if you can get away with that and you'll be fine, I'm okay. But man, it is hard to make that trade. As of right now, I'd say no, I'm keeping what you have. But Perp says 12 team Pollard or Hines, 100%, 1000% playing Nyheim Hines over Tony Pollard this week. Michael Olson says we have diamond hands on Aaron Jones. Look, that's another thing. Aaron Jones is a little bit trickier. Aaron Jones has another running back in his backfield that is getting consistent touches that scares the crap out of me. Stafford or Brady this week? Justin, play Stafford against Atlanta. Easier matchup. Brady in the last 2 years is 0-4 against the Saints. He hasn't beaten them once. So as of right now, yeah, I would say that Aaron Jones, we want to have diamond hands. Let's see what we get out of him this week. Hopefully with Bakhtiari back, Eldon Jenkins back, their right and left tackle, they'll be far more effective in the running game. But we're just going to cross our fingers and hope that he can stay, a main part of this offense. Clarence, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Just here for the vibes. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Brian Mills says, do I start Chase Claypool or pick up Sterling Shepard and start him? Do we want to risk it all and go for the Sterling Shepard play in a half PPR? As of right now, I would say yeah. That's probably what I would do. Yeah, that's what I would do. If you're asking me what I would do, play Chase Claypool or play Sterling Shepard, I'd play Sterling Shepard this week. Is Dylan for Higgins a good trade in a full PPR? Long term, yes. But if Dylan ends up being the number one of that team, which we don't know yet, that is a kind of wait and figure it out as the weeks go by. At that point, we'll be in a good spot. And at that point, Dylan may be more valuable. For right now, I think Higgins contains more of the upside value in a full PPR. Gabe Davis is good on Monday night. It's not... wait, what? I don't know who you're talking to, but okay. Anyway, moving on. I'm lost. Curtis Samuel or Zeke? I'd rather play Curtis Samuel, legitimately. I do not like playing Zeke into tough matchups. Zeke into tough matchups, Cowboys into tough matchups are just not fun. Let's see here. Michael Peters says Henry or Pitts. Is that Hunter Henry? No, I think I'd just rather play Pitts and just fall. I would, yeah. At this point, if you're desperate enough to where you're looking for ultimate touchdown upside instead of Pitts, then you've already pretty much like kind of sealed your fate. You might as well just trade away Pitts. I'm confident enough to where, hey, if he gives me another dud performance, it is what it is. But this is kind of what I signed up for. I knew his first 2 weeks of his matchups are going to be tough. I want the rest of the season of Pitts on my team. It's not about winning one game. It's about the marathon of the season, Dameon Pierce or Dobbins if he plays? I'd rather play Dobbins if he plays, actually. Because I can guarantee you he's going to get himself 10 rushing attempts. Can't do the same with Dameon Pierce now that Rex Burkhead is playing, 70% of the snaps. All right, couple more donations were sent in. John says, drop one, Kareem Hunt, Terry McLaurin, or Marquise Hollywood Brown. Drop one? What? If I had to drop one, I'm dropping Terry McLaurin, like legitimately, no joke. And that's a tough thing to say, but that's probably what I would do. I'd rather have the running back depth and Marquise Hollywood Brown. But hopefully you don't actually mean drop, you just mean sit. Kinlaw says, I was offered AJ Brown and DJ Moore and for DJ Moore and Dobbins. AJ Brown for DJ Moore and Dobbins. Okay. Thoughts? Other wide receivers are Chase, Adams, Godwin, Lazard. Chase Adams. Wait, your other wide receivers are Chase, Adams, Godwin, and Lazard. Other running backs are Barkley, Hall. Okay, so you're basically looking to see if you can strike gold on Dobbins. Listen, I'm of the opinion that yes, Dobbins could be in a position to come back and play, but I'm very much so afraid of the fact that it could be like what Saquon had to deal with last year, where even though he's playing, he is not as effective as he typically is because he's only a couple, what is it? Dobbins is about 12 months removed from that ACL injury. It typically takes 2 years for a running back from an ACL to be back and fully ready to go. If you want to take the risk, you can, but I think probably keeping A.J. Brown after last week's performance is maybe the way to go there and just filter in that running back too with Gibson until further notice. But conventional wisdom would say, hey, if Dobbins is the guy, you want him. And that's why you would make the trade. But I just can't guarantee you that he will be that guy. And if he doesn't end up being so, and you make a giant discount at wide receiver going from A.J. Brown to DJ Moore, it could hurt you in the long run. If Dobbins ended up playing, do you play him over Robinson or Najee? No, I wouldn't play him over either. I think he'd still be lower ranked. He'd probably be in my mid 30s, to be totally honest. I'd like him as a play, but I wouldn't play him over solidified backs that I know are healthy and getting a pretty wide range of opportunity in their backfield. Gabe Davis or Miles Sanders in a full PPR scoring format? I'd rather play Gabe Davis there. I appreciate it. Thank you. Rob Castle says, I need 3. We have Tyler Boyd, Rashad Bateman, Christian Kirk, Sutton, and Davis. As of right now, I'm playing Kirk, Sutton, and Davis. Those are my 3 suggestions. Thank you very much, Rob. I know you said at the end of your thing, Gabe Davis is injured. He was limited today. I know he missed practice all week, but so did Stephon Diggs. They're making sure that these guys are healthy and ready to go for the Monday night game, so I'm not worried. Nicholas Hernandez says, Stevenson, Etienne, Elliott, or Gordon full PPR. If I'm picking one out of the bunch, it's probably rolling with Stevenson. Yeah. Stevenson, Etienne, Gordon, and then Elliott. Probably in that order. Elliott is just flying down my board. As soon as Dak comes back, I guarantee you Elliott will be in a better position because once we get to midway through this season, let's say, for example, 4 weeks from now, Zeke will be of value. Like, he will legitimately be of value. But the fact that Dak is missing now certainly does diminish his value by a significant margin. We saw that in 2020. When Dak went down with a backup quarterback, Zeke is not the same. Zeke goes from averaging like 17 points per game with Dak to averaging 9.9 points without him. That kind of a separation of value is enough to where it scares me. So as of right now, Zeke is one of those guys that in a couple weeks I'll be trading for, just to kind of invest in the idea that he's not going to get a lot of touches in the next couple of weeks. And by the time we get to midway through the season and he's healthy and Dak is back, they're going to be pounding the rock and finding success there. So we'll talk about that in a couple weeks, though. Ashley Gomez says, in a half PPR scoring format, I need one wide receiver out of the potential following. We have Elijah Moore, Darnell Mooney, and Paris Campbell. Out of those 3 options, I'm probably thinking that it's going to be Paris Campbell. Let me think here. Paris Campbell over Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore takes on Cleveland. Yeah, probably higher there. And then Darnell Mooney. I like Mooney. He's pretty good against zone coverage, but again, I don't know about Justin Fields. I'd probably go Paris Campbell there. That'd be my suggestion as of right now. It'll probably be very similar in the extent of what tomorrow's rankings on screen look like. Again, just a reminder, I appreciate you guys coming out here today. There's about 600 of you in the chat. I appreciate for those of you who have clicked the like button, supporting the channel with your donations. Much appreciated. Tomorrow morning, we will be live streaming here on the channel from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is Kickoff with Kirchhoff. We do that every Sunday morning. We'll have updated rankings on the screen for the entire time for a half PPR scoring format, top 36 running backs, top 36 wide receivers, top 16 tight ends, and quarterbacks. I will also be mentioning my top defenses and kickers for the week tomorrow morning because somebody asked for that. We will definitely do that tomorrow morning. Maybe I'll go ahead and make an extra graphic for that entirely, and we'll be good to go. Otherwise, if you guys want updated full rankings, there's a Patreon that you guys can support via. It's down in the description. If those of you guys want to go ahead, just click at the link. You don't have to join. It's just a matter of, hey, if you're interested, you go, you see the potential, things that you get in exchange for it. If that's something that you guys are interested in terms of a service, that is available to you. Thank you. 1023 Entertainment says Allen Robinson or Michael Thomas in a full PPR. I'd rather play Michael Thomas tomorrow. And then the following question is Freiermuth or Tunyon. Tunyon is super touchdown related. If Tunyon doesn't score tomorrow, I can't guarantee he gets more than 5 points. On the other end of the spectrum, I very easily think that Freiermuth could put up that 5 points, and some, and maybe even fall into a lucky touchdown. So I'd rather just play Freiermuth even with the matchup on hand. It's not impossible to succeed against Bill Belichick, but it's a lower potential chance. Dennis says, what time for the stream? Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're on the East Coast, that's 11 to 1. If you're in the mid, let's say you live in Chicago, what is that, 2 hours ahead of me? That would be 10 a.m. to noon. Cool? 2 hour stream tomorrow. That's what we'll be doing. Otherwise, we still got another 40 some odd minutes here answering questions, helping y'all out, seeing what we can do. Again, if you guys want to play more fantasy football and you didn't sign up for enough leagues, another way to do so is via Underdog Fantasy. Whether it's the pick'ems that we talked about a little bit earlier, or it's even the drafts that I just participated in, you can go ahead, sign up today. There's a link down in the description. When you use promo code Andrew to make a first-time deposit, you'll get a first-time deposit match up to $100. Check that out if you're interested. Sign up today. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. For those of you guys who have done so using promo code Andrew, greatly appreciated. Okay. Do you think McLaurin or Judy this week? I'm probably going with Judy there, Joseph. Thank you. Steven Drakes, nice to see you back. Welcome. Hope you're doing well, my man. Says, Algier, a good pickup now with Williams out. Listen, Williams is out, but it doesn't mean he's out on the injured reserve. That is the thing. I don't know if Algier is going to be good to go there. I know Avery, their other running back, was in the mix. Algier, probably not a guy I'm interested in. Vicious Vega says, got Kittle trade away. Got Higbee and Logan waiver. Okay. Interesting English, but Victor, so you're asking, should you trade away Kittle and then go pick up Higbee and Logan Thomas? I'd probably want to keep Kittle in the long run. I'd rather have the stability of tight end. I know he's injured right now, but if you have to pick up a tight end and just play one this week, go pick up Higbee, play him against Atlanta, and then just deal with, what the future holds for Kittle going forward. Take it easy, brother. Click the like button. Go Ravens, 3 p.m. UK. Okay, there we go. Gareth says it's 3 p.m. in the UK. I appreciate that. Maybe I gotta name all of it. UK, China, all of the different time zones. Sell high on CEH, yes. Kenneth, 1,000% sell high on CEH, 100%. I think probably this upcoming week, this upcoming week, I will have a trade targets, sell high, buy low video, okay? I'll make my word, okay? So Monday we'll have waiver wire, Tuesday running back, Wednesday wide receiver, Thursday we'll do trade targets, Friday we'll do must start players like we do, and then Saturday, Sunday live streams. For those of you who are wondering where the quarterback and tight end position kind of fits in there, we'll probably just have that available for Sunday morning live stream, because again, it's not too popular. A lot of people already have their primary starting stud tight end or quarterback that they're going to play. They don't need to hear the confirmation bias from me every week. Constantine, you know what's funny? I heard that they're making another movie. Keanu Reeves makes that much money that they're about to make another Constantine movie. Anyway, half PPR, or sorry, 12-team full PPR. What is a better flex play, Mike Evans or Kareem Hunt? You really just had to do this to me, huh? You had to give me the tough question. As of right now, based on the history of a lack of success from Mike Evans, I am thinking that I don't want to play him this week. Is that dumb? Yes, because Mike Evans is talented, but he's dealing with an injury. He's got a tough matchup against his kryptonite, and he hasn't played well against them since 2018. In my opinion, maybe Kareem Hunt's the better play there. Wait. Daryl, are we asking about Dennis Pitta? Like the former Ravens tight end? Because if we're asking about Dennis Pitta, oh no, you're talking about Pitts. Dude, man, I got it twisted for a second there. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. Dennis Pitta's playing again? I'd rather play Pitts over Taysom Hill. If Kamara's out, I don't mind playing Taysom Hill in that regard. There's a reason why he's on the thumbnail for today. I believe that if Kamara is out, Taysom Hill is a top 10 top 10 tight end tomorrow. That's what I believe. Okay, a couple more donations got sent in here. Bug Eye Buck Nasty says, Cordero, Saquon, Robinson, Sanders, Penny. Pick 2. Okay. And then we also have Amon-Ra St. Brown or Brandon Cooks. So we're going to play Amon-Ra St. Brown undoubtedly there, Bug Eye. As for the 2 options at running back, Saquon is an automatic. And then it's between the other options. It's either Sanders or it's Cordero. I'd play Cordero most likely there. So we go Saquon, Cordero. Thank you very much, Bug Eye. Appreciate it. Andrew Pacina, nice to see you. Thank you very much for contributing. Thanks for the donation. Should I trade one of the following wide receivers for a running back? Okay, let's see here. I have Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and T. Higgins. Okay, so you have 3 studs. My running backs are Melvin Gordon, Jeff Wilson Jr. Who else do you have here on this roster? Breece Hall, Dobbins, Ramondre. Wow, so you basically don't have any running backs. Okay. I mean, you do, but they're just like, they're going to be a rotation all year long. There's no stability. It's just matchup plays. I have Josh Allen and Mark Andrews. What do I do? Okay, so in my opinion, I would most likely... Okay. This is the reason why I'm going to say this. I think if you could trade T. Higgins and go get a running back, you should. That's where I'm kind of sitting right now. If you can't find a valuable enough running back to trade for, like, let's say, for example, I know it's out of the realm of possibility, but let's say, for example, someone's like, hey, you know what? Give me Amon-Ra St. Brown and give me Dobbins, I'll give you Eckler. Bro, just take it. Go and snipe that. But I don't think that's going to be the case. So this is what I say, Andrew. I want to keep those 3 wide receivers. But if you have to break away from T. Higgins or Amon-Ra St. Brown with the running back to get a huge running back upgrade, then you do it. Otherwise, you just play with the running backs you have. Because I think they will eventually service you in a point to where you don't have to worry about them, and you'll have 2 starting wide receivers in a flex always settled. So those 2 running backs are always going to be in question, but I think you have enough depth there to be able to play matchups and find success. But hey, again, if you can find a trade, someone that's wanting to sell low on their player, let's say Derrick Henry has another bugging week here, you might as well go and try to make a move there. Jaden Molina says PPR flex Montgomery, Etienne, Cooks, or Jeff Wilson. Montgomery, Etienne, Jeff Wilson, or Cooks. If I'm playing one out of those potential options, I'm probably playing Brandon Cooks and then Montgomery. Todd Grayson says DJ Moore, Kareem Hunt, James Robinson. Pick 2 in a full PPR. Kareem Hunt and DJ Moore are my suggestions. Stephen Hensley says PPR Lamb or McLaurin. Should I sell Lamb for Debo? Ooh, good question. I don't mind the Debo sell. Okay, yeah, I don't mind that. I know it's tough, but I don't mind that. I don't mind taking Debo and then and then playing McLaurin over Lamb this week. That's not bad. AMC Machine says Hall or Carter. Play Carter this week. Also, Paris Campbell or Elijah Moore. Paris Campbell or Elijah Moore. Paris Campbell. Thank you. Son of AAA says, Brady or Wentz? Brady or Wentz, huh? We've gotten to this part. I think I'm beginning to lean towards playing Wentz tomorrow. CeeDee Lamb or Scary Terry? I'd rather play Scary Terry. Thank you. Jaden Thornton says trade, give Fournette and JJ for Swift, D Moore, and McLaurin. No. Absolutely not. I'd rather have Swift and Justin Jefferson rest of the season. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Awesome says half PPR Mike Evans or Penny. At that point, I'm still playing Mike Evans. Aaron Jones or Najee Harris. I'd rather play Najee Harris. He practiced fully, plays against New England. I play Najee Harris there. Okay, what do we have here? Henderson or Sutton in a full PPR. Most likely playing... Jeebus, man. That is a tough one. Sutton or Henderson in a full PPR right now. I think the safer play is just to go with Henderson there. All right, let's see here. Renfro or Zeke? I think I go Zeke there at that point. And just hope that maybe Cincinnati turns over the ball, short field, they punch in a touchdown. That's the hope. Mooney in place of Gabe Davis. Other options are Olave, Tony, Lance, Tua. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Trey Lance or Tua. That's a separate question. I would play Gabe Davis. I'm not worried about it. If you are and you don't have any other options, you could always wait until I'm fairly certain it's a Monday game, right? Like, I'm not crazy to think that this is a Monday game, and that's why you guys are asking about it. Yeah, then we have 2 Monday night games. Okay, so if in fact Gabe Davis doesn't go, you will still have a chance to either go get Isaiah McKenzie, you can still get Kyle Phillips, you can go and get other pieces off of the Eagles or the Vikings to play in his stead. So I still think Gabe Davis is the play, and he will play. But again, it's not like you're out of options if he doesn't. But I still want to play him. Ertz, Schultz, or Hill? I'd rather play Ertz. Lockett or Montgomery? Montgomery, Tim. 100% play Montgomery there. Devonta Smith, Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell is my suggestion. Paris Campbell. Ayuk or London? I probably... If the weather's fine, I'd go with Ayuk. But I don't know what it looks like. People are telling me that it's clear and ready to go. So if that's the case, you play Ayuk instead of London this week. What else we have? Evans, Sutton, or Curtis Samuel. As of right now, I think I might be going with Sutton over Evans this week. Cole Kmet or Taysom Hill. At that point, if Kamara is out, we want to play Taysom Hill. If he's not, I guess you could risk it with Cole Kmet. But again, like I'm saying, it's a risk. So you may just want to play Taysom in both regards anyway. Let's see here. 12-team, full PPR, 4 flex options. For the flex position, sorry. Dillon, Henderson, or Montgomery. I'd rather play Dillon, then Henderson, then Montgomery in that exact order. Thank you. St. Brown, Deontay Johnson, or Allen Robinson. St. Brown. He's my number 10 wide receiver for this week. I really do believe he's going to have a great game. Purely, that's it. Okay, so it's about 2:30 now. What I want to go ahead and do, first and foremost, is clean some of these extra tabs that I opened up earlier. Okay, what do we have here? Sanders or Jeff Wilson? Jeff Wilson. Yeah. Here's the thing about Miles Sanders. I am willing to play Miles Sanders in a fantastic matchup, but once we get to a position where it's not a guaranteed touchdown, I can't trust Miles Sanders as much. So I probably am leaning towards the direction of just playing Jeff Wilson there. Start Julio or Paris Campbell? Probably Julio tomorrow. Yeah. Allen Robinson going off tomorrow? I agree. I think he'll have a good game. I don't know about going off. Going off would be a 20-point game. If he has a 20-point game, that'll be the first time in like 4 years that he does that. Actually, I'm curious. What is the last time Allen Robinson went for 20 fantasy points? Let's see, shall we? Let's see here. Allen Robinson. Is this going to work? Internet. Okay, internet's dead. Terry R says, trade J-Rob for Ayuk. Wide receivers or that. No, I'd rather keep J-Rob. I think he'll have more value in the long term for you. Dude, what happened to my internet? Why doesn't this thing work? Maybe it's his website that's just busted. Let's go check. Yeah, it just seems like that search function is busted. All right, let's see here. When was the last time in a half PPR Allen Robinson had 20 fantasy points? Didn't do it. He didn't get over 10 fantasy points last year. The last time he had over 20 fantasy points was 2020, week 14 against Houston. Okay, so it's been a while. It's been a while for sure. In that game, he had 123 receiving yards, 9 catches, and a touchdown. So I don't know if we're getting those numbers. Those look like more or less. Those look like Cooper Kupp numbers for this week, but we'll see. Scary Terry or Packers Watson? Scary Terry. 2020 versus Indianapolis was the last time he had 20 points. Maybe in a different scoring format, but like I just mentioned, if you go back to 2020 and you look at a half PPR, he had 3 games in which he went over 20. Indianapolis week 4 was 19.6 fantasy points. The other 3 weeks in which he had it, Green Bay, Atlanta, Houston, all in 2020. So yeah, the Indianapolis game is not the case. He had less than 20 in that game. If Kamara is out, do I play Mark Ingram? If healthy, Chase Edmonds or Breece Hall? I'd rather play Chase Edmonds over Mark Ingram and Breece Hall. Pick one rest of season. Aaron Jones, Najee Harris, Alvin Kamara. If Alvin Kamara is healthy, I'd rather have him. But considering he's not, and I don't know what this looks like, I'd probably just take Najee at that point. Naeem Hines or Jeff Wilson? I like Jeff Wilson this week. Jahan Dotson or DJ Moore? DJ Moore. Ryan Suckup or Chris Boswell? Brian Boswell. That's a linebacker, if you guys remember. Chris Boswell against the Patriots or Ryan Suckup? I'd probably go Chris Boswell there. Taysom Hill or Albert O? Probably go Albert O unless Kamara's out. Stafford or Cousins? Go Cousins. Scary Terror or Darrell Henderson? I play Darrell Henderson there. Okay. No problem, Andrew. No problem. Okay. There may have been a couple donations sent in that I haven't seen yet. So let me go ahead. Let me get back to that real quick. Yeah, there were a couple. So let me go ahead and answer these. Sorry, guys, for the delay. Terry, we answered your question. Direct Fire Dave says 10-team full PPR flex Carter, Etienne, or Bateman. I'd flex Carter. Thank you. Dylan Hansen says, is this good? Lamar, Najee, Aaron Jones, Kupp, AJ Brown, Thomas. Yes, that is a good-looking team, to say the least. Mark Straw says, replacement for Pittman, Lockett, Corey Davis, Myers, or gamble with Paris Campbell. As of right now, it's between Myers or the gamble. I think I'm going to go with the gamble there and play Paris Campbell. It rhymes. It makes sense. Cool Music says, Flex 1, Damian Harris, Allen Robinson, Jacoby Myers, Julio Jones, and Robbie Anderson. If I'm picking one out of the bunch, I'm playing Allen Robinson there. Cameron Cavalier says, Flex Allen Robinson, Ramondre Stevenson, Julio, or Jeff Wilson Jr. If I'm picking one out of the bunch, it's either Jeff Wilson or Allen Robinson, considering, okay, if it's a half PPR, I'd probably play Jeff Wilson. If it's a full, I'd rather play Allen Robinson. Thank you. Alrighty, we got caught up there. Kareem Hunt or Miles Sanders? Play Kareem Hunt there. TNB. Let's see here. What else do we have? Okay, so we got to keep scrolling. CeeDee Lamb or Scary Terry? I think I mentioned this a little before. I'm playing Scary Terry, Isaac. I think I'm even playing Curtis Samuel over CeeDee Lamb. I think he'll be okay, but I don't know if he's going to get 100 receiving yards. He did it last time with Cooper Rush against Minnesota in last year's contest when Dak was out. But again, it's a very big risk versus reward kind of game. If I can guarantee touches from PPR players that are in the vicinity, I think I'd rather just go there. Andrew, do I play Davis, Dillon in the half PPR? I'm just playing Dillon there and not even worrying about it. Okay. Last thing I wanted to do while we still, man, I need a bottle of water, but it's okay. We don't have it. Instead of taking an intermission, we're almost done here. We got about 30 minutes remaining, so no big deal. Cousins or Rodgers? We're playing Cousins there. Okay, Brandon Cooks or CeeDee Lamb? I'd rather play Brandon Cooks. Sit one, Waddle, Connor, Brandon Cooks. Are we sitting Swift this week? Absolutely not. No way, Jose. I'd sit Brandon Cooks, I'd start Waddle, and I'd start Connor. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead. Let's change screens here. Let's travel to Underdoggo. Okay. So, I want to put together a couple more pick'ems here. If you guys have any suggestions as to which ones I should take, please let me know in the chat. Because again, your boy's trying to win some money here. If you guys are also trying to do the same, try to follow on the pick'ems that we put together here, picking higher or lower on a specific player statistic, you should go ahead and, what is that comment in the comment section? What happened to your message? You're good to go. You should go ahead and go to the link down in the description. Click on it, use promo code Andrew. When you sign up, make a first-time deposit. You'll get a first-time deposit match up to $100. So if you're interested in drafting some teams for this upcoming weekend's contests, the Battle Royales, or if you're looking to put together some pick'ems, be sure to do so today. Thank you very much. All right. Judy or Dotson? Judy, man. Come on. All right. So a lot of the individual positional... Okay, so I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can for the remainder of the stream, but just expect me to slow down a little bit here because I'm looking to just try to put together some of these pick'ems, okay? Just a fair warning. Appreciate you guys. Let me check here. There was a couple more donations that were sent in. Just want to get back to that real quick. Oh, dude, of course I messed this whole thing up. Okay, let me go ahead. I need to find a couple more things here that I need to filter out. Boom, perfect, good to go. That's not where I wanted to go. Here we go. So the super chats that were just sent in, did we catch up to it? 215 Nunu. Is that Nunu from like League of Legends Nunu? I think I'm gonna go Fields over A-Rod this week. Whoo! Good luck, my guy. Good luck. Super Dave 00 says pick one. PPR Landry, Burks, Bateman. I'd play Landry there. John says Wentz or Lance. I'd play Lance if the weather is fine. Higbee or Knox. I'd rather play Higbee. And in rest of season. What? What's the rest of this question, John? That's my question. What's the rest of the question? Anyway, let me go ahead. Where the heck is my pop-out menu? There it is. Can I find the question that was sent in by him earlier? Because Cameron's question. J Beats 14 says non-PPR. What do we do? A non-PPR, Zeke, Penny, or Bateman? I'd probably play Penny there. Yeah, play Penny there for sure. Let's max screen this. Let's bring this here, man. I need another monitor. That's actually what I need. I have too much stuff here. I think I'm going to go with Fields over A-Rod this week. I think you go Fields over A-Rod. Yeah, okay. We already did that one with Nunu. No problem. Okay. He says, Fields is going to do better in the game, especially considering Rodgers doesn't have an offensive line. Rodgers does have an offensive line. They're going to both play this week. So I think he'll be fine. Do not worry about the Rodgers offensive line. Hill or Knox, this purely depends on whether or not Kamara plays. If Kamara doesn't play, we will have updated rankings tomorrow morning. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the channel, I will be live streaming with updated rankings at running back, wide receiver, tight end, and quarterback. So be sure to go ahead, drop on by tomorrow morning. Greatly appreciate that. There's a couple more donations that were sent in. We did John's question. John, rest of the season, Knox or Higbee? I'd rather have Knox, but that's just a matter of whether or not they're utilizing him as a blocker extensively or if they're actually going to have him as a receiving threat going forward. I would assume that they're going to continue to get him utilized as a receiving threat and that week one was just a fluke. John says, this is just a thank you. You're the man. I appreciate that. Sage Network Gaming, RPG/MMO gameplay says, love the content in a 14-team 3-flex league. Stuck on my last flex. Sterling Shepard or Arizona's Dortch. Okay. If I'm picking one out of the two in a full PPR scoring format, I'm probably leaning towards playing Dortch, considering he's going to be on the field the whole time. They play 3 wide receiver spread formation. I'd probably go with Dortch there. Sterling Shepard is great. I like him. But if I can guarantee targets in his direction, I think Shepard's a guy I'd rather just have on my bench. If I'm desperate enough to play him, we go with it. Otherwise, in the upcoming weeks, could be more valuable based on what he does this week against Carolina. In my tight end spot, OJ Howard or Hayden Hurst? OJ Howard or Hayden Hurst? I think I'm willing to probably just go with Hayden Hurst there. OJ Howard may get more playing time, but I just don't know if that's a concrete option for us to play, considering he didn't play too many snaps, didn't run too many routes. Yes, he scored some touchdowns, but don't know if that's going to be a weekly thing for him. So I'd rather just go with the receptions and that kind of upside going forward. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's put together something here. Let's see what kind of pick'ems we got here. Anything pop up to... Okay, Ian Thomas, what did he have last week? 2 catches for 53. One of those was just a long, like 40-yard receptions down to like the 1-yard line. That's how McCaffrey scored in that game. I don't know if that's a reliable enough play in that regard. Daniel Jones throwing an interception. I think that is almost a guarantee. Almost every game, this man's going to make a terrible mistake to get him on that track, probably. What else do we have here? His rushing yards, 23.5. Did he even get... Oh, you know what? There's the rivals, too. Ooh, this might be more exciting. Hold up. Wait a minute. What do we have here? Okay, let's look at these rivals. Again, if you guys see something that you think, Andrew, this is a play, let me know. Because I'm more than happy to oblige and throw that into a pick'em and just let it rip and let's see what happens kind of thing. Passing yards, Tua or Lamar Jackson? Really? They think that Tua's going to have more passing yards, huh? Interesting. What did he have? 270? Jesus. That is a lot of passing yards for Tua. For Tua specifically, that is a lot. A couple questions in the chat. Shepard, DK, or Landry? I'd much rather play DK or Landry over Shepard tomorrow. Much rather. Let's see here. Okay, guys, don't forget. Okay, tomorrow morning we'll be live streaming with updated rankings. Brain fart. That'll be the time for you guys to get the final word on a lot of these questions that you have, especially like Josh Jacobs versus Jeff Wilson. I'm assuming right now that I have Josh Jacobs higher in my mind. If something happens in the next 24 hours that convinces me otherwise to change it, it'll be on the screen tomorrow morning. But otherwise, Charlie, yes, you go in Jacobs. Any word on T. Higgins? Yes, he did fully participate. He should be out of the concussion protocol. We're expecting him to be fine. Receiving yards, Waddle or Bateman? Yo, I'm going Waddle there. That I like a lot. Even if Bateman has an additional 13, the fact that all those cornerbacks for receiving yards giving him more. I mean, dude, I think I'm going both those guys. Okay, but I need to make sure. Okay. We can do this. Plays can be made here. Rushing and receiving McCaffrey or Barkley, that is an interesting one to say the least. Sutton or Kirk? Play Sutton. What else we have here? Kenny Golladay receiving yards. Did he even get anything? Yeah, no. Kenny Golladay is absolutely not worth anything. I would assume that Robbie Anderson can get more receiving yards than that guy. I mean, come on. Okay, let's break the neck real quick. Deontay Johnson or Brandon Cooks? Deontay Johnson. Adam Thielen or Allen Robinson? Meat sweats. Go Allen Robinson. Thank you. Any more donations? No, we're good to go. Awesome. Good to go. All right, let's close that. Let's close that. We're awesome there. Moving on. Let's see. What do we have here? What other rivals do we have? Receptions straight up. That's interesting. Receptions straight up. That's also interesting. Let me see. Where's the chat at? Okay. A couple more donations sent in. Austin. I already have Kirk and JJ stacked. Okay, so that's Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson. Should I trade Saquon and DJ Moore for Dalvin and Scary Terry? I don't think you have to. I think if you have all three Vikings on your team, and let's say, for example, God forbid something happens to Kirk Cousins and he's out, your entire team will be nullified. Like, they cannot function without Kirk Cousins under center. So I think I'm fine just keeping what you have as Saquon and DJ Moore. Cole Pierce says, start Higgins or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown is my suggestion there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Burrow or Carr, Bengals or Green Bay defense. We'll talk about defenses tomorrow on the stream. Otherwise, I'm going Burrow over Carr this week. What other pick'ems we have here? One-on-ones. Receiving yards, Zay Jones or Marvin Jones. That's a good one. I like that. I'd probably go Zay Jones there. We'll see. Carson Wentz passing touchdowns more than Jared Goff straight up? Yes. I believe that to be the case. Is that 5 legs or is that 4? 4? We got to keep finding more. What else we have here? ETN, Henderson, Edmonds. Going Henderson there, Pavi. Passing attempts, Joe Flacco or Jacoby Brissett. I don't think Brissett threw the ball more than like 35 times, right? 34 attempts. Yeah, I would probably take Joe Flacco on the over there. Okay, you know what? Let me throw this in here. Let's make a $5 Reno bet, 20 times my money. We'll take the insurance on it just in case. No problem. Boom, that one's set. Pretty interesting. Actually, you know what? I think Rivals may be more my speed when it comes to some of these, man. Again, for those of you who are watching and wondering what the heck am I doing, I'm on Underdog Fantasy. I'm in the pick'em section. I'm just going ahead, putting together some slips. We'll see how these all turn out by tomorrow for sure. But just going through, if you guys have any suggestions in terms of some pick'em slips that you've seen, that you've put together, let me know in the comment section. Thank you. Or in the chat. Thank you. Stafford or Mariota? I'd play Stafford. Bateman or Lazard? Play Bateman for now. Lazard is in question as to whether or not he'll even play. Okay. Why Landry over Shepard if Jameis doesn't play the entire game? Who said that Jameis isn't playing the entire game? Where did you get that assumption from? Better long-term, Olave or Kenneth Walker? I think Kenneth Walker is better long-term. It's the odds that gets me with the rivals. What's the odds? What do you mean? Like rushing yards, Cordero Patterson or Daryl Henderson? Yo, there's no way that Cordero can beat Henderson in rushing yards, right? Am I crazy? Even with a 12-yard advantage, I don't think that no. Receiving yards, Pitts or okay, that's an interesting one. We'll keep an eye on that. Receptions total, that's interesting as well. Look, there's some good ones here. Wentz or Brady? I think I'm going Wentz this week. Will ETN be okay? I mean, if James Robinson keeps playing as well as he has, the guy looks like he didn't even tear his Achilles. So MSC Braces says he has back problems. Sure, so does Mac Jones, but he's playing anyway. Even though someone's injured doesn't mean that they're not playing, right? If he wasn't playing, they would have already told us because they would have already said that Andy Dalton is taking first team snaps. So the assumption is that he's playing. And if he is, then we're good to go. Listen, if he's going to get injured mid-game, I can't anticipate or project potential success or failures of his receiving threats if I don't even know what an injury is. Like, I can't predict injuries in games. I can anticipate that someone could re-aggravate an injury, but I can't predict whether or not that's actually going to lead to something. Rushing yards, I'll take Mixon. That's a fine one right there. What else we have here? Rushing yards, Javonte or Dameon Pierce? I'll take Javonte. What the heck? I know Javante's. Yeah, no. Yeah. Dameon Pierce had how many rushing attempts? Yeah, no. I'll take Javonte there. We'll see how that goes. Another donation was sent in. Let me see here. We did that one. Magic says Burrow or Wentz. We go Burrow this week. Austin says trade Sutton and Darrell Henderson for Scary Terry and CEH. No, keep Sutton and Darrell Henderson. That's what we want. We want to sell CEH if we can, guys. That's who we want to sell high on. Let's see. What else do we have here? Justin Fields passing. Okay, interesting. Rushing yards. I don't expect A.J. Dillon to be able to surpass David Montgomery this week, to be honest. Receiving yards. Woods or Davis? Give me Davis. Holy moly. We'll take that. Okay. Let's see. What else is in the chat? Samuel or Hollywood? Play Hollywood Brown. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead. I need to find one more leg here. Oh, never mind. We've gone off the reservation. Fewer interceptions. Who will throw less interceptions? Oh, man. I think Brady has thrown like 2 picks every single time he's played against the Saints. I think that's a legitimate stat. Let me find this. Tom Brady versus Saints stat muse. Let's see here. Tom Brady in the last couple games that he's played against the Saints. Okay, he's thrown at least 1 interception in each of the last 4 games. Last time he went 1 interception, the other 2 interceptions, 3 interceptions, 4. So he's thrown literally on average 2 interceptions per game. 8 interceptions in the last 4 times he's played against the Saints. I'm going to go for it. I'm just going to go for it. Jameis Winston will have fewer interceptions. We'll go make another bet here. We'll take the insurance. That's fine by me. Confirm that. All right, we're done there. We'll go ahead. We'll rotate back towards this screen. Answer a couple more questions for the final 10 minutes of today's stream. Again, if your question does not get answered, apologies in advance. Again, there's a lot of you and one of me. I'm trying my very best that I can. Keep you guys entertained, answer your questions, help you out. Again, we will be live streaming tomorrow morning. A lot of questions will be answered then. That will be a lot more clear in terms of the availability of some players. So we'll have a little bit more of a better understanding as to what we're dealing with, considering Kittle, Kamara, etc. A couple more questions sent in via donation. Ethan T says, full PPR, Jeff Wilson Jr. or Drake London? I'd rather play Jeff Wilson this week. That is my opinion. I'd rather go with the running back in that regard. Who do I start? Ramondre or Olave? I play Ramondre Stevenson. Woods, Dotson, or Corey Davis? Woods, Jahan Dotson's probably the play there. I don't want to play Woods, guys. I don't want to play him in any fashion at all this week. Just the fact that Tennessee has to play against the Buffalo Bills leads me in the direction of not having any interest in that regard. Bruno says, Andrew, please, can you help me with the flex? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Of those available, I'm probably going Jeff Wilson there, Bruno. Thank you. Someone say good morning? Dirtbag. What are you doing? What do you mean good morning? You just wake up. It's 2:50 p.m. PST. Yo, what the heck is going on here? Deontay Johnson or Curtis Samuel? Play Deontay Johnson, my guy. Dang that Gabriel. Tyler Boyd, a good play this week. If T. Higgins somehow, some way is not active tomorrow, then yes, he's a great play. He's a top 30 play, in fact. But if in fact we're in a scenario where T. Higgins is active, I would say Tyler Boyd's most likely not as viable. Again, Tyler Boyd only had as many targets, and so did Hayden Hurst. They only had so many targets. So same thing with what's his name? Joe Mixon. They only had so many targets because Mr. Higgins was not on the field. It's 5:50 over here. That's what I'm saying, dude. East Coast, it's 5:50. What is this guy saying good morning for? He's a little early, huh? Hit the like button. Thank you very much, Jaden. I appreciate you saying that. Again, I appreciate y'all coming out here for today, supporting the channel with your viewership by clicking the like button. I know it's difficult to share the channel with your friends. Hey, listen, if at any point you want to be a friend, tell a friend, that would greatly appreciate and, kind of expand the channel to greater heights. I know that the fantasy community doesn't want to share their secret plays and their secret fantasy guys. I get it. It makes sense. But I'd appreciate you guys spreading the word and preaching my channel to your friends if in fact they are in need of it. And if in fact we get into a position where you're like, you know what, Andrew doesn't give good advice, suggest me even more, because maybe your friends will listen, and if you think that I'm going to lead them to a losing season, that would probably help you, right? Anyway, David, I can't believe you. You've betrayed me, David. No, I'm just kidding. ETN or Gordon? I'd probably go ETN there, but very slightly. It could change by tomorrow morning, Sean, to be totally honest. I have a lot of research to do, a lot of injuries. I know that the Broncos are going to be missing one of their starting offensive linemen. They could miss another one. I got to go do a couple research there and just making sure everybody's intact. Landry or Garrett Wilson? I'm playing Landry. Jacobs, Darrell Henderson, or Cordero Patterson? David, I'd play Jacobs there. Okay, guys. 8 a.m. Sunday morning in Guam. Interesting. How about that? All right, dirtbag. How about that? Dude, you got to change your name. I'm just going to call you forever from now on, okay? We're done with this. Gabriel says Zeke or Hunt. I'd play Hunt. Who's a better stash, Watson or yeah, I think Watson is the better stash overall. I think he's just a more talented player, and talent over time is going to kind of take advantage of the fact that Romeo was available throughout the entire training camp. Yes, he has a little bit maybe more rapport, but Watson, his talent level, there's a reason why on the first play of that game against Minnesota, they drew up that play. They want to get him involved as much as possible. They know that his skill, is enough to at least be a consistent receiving threat for this offense. Just call you DB? Maybe. Okay, I'll think about that one. I'll think about that. I like Sutton here. Miguel. Trade Saquon for Diggs? No, I'd rather have Saquon. I think Diggs is fantastic, but if Saquon's going to keep getting those targets out of the backfield, it's far too good. Gibson or Robinson? Gibson, 1,000%. I'd put my house on it. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. It's a joke. But yes, I'd rather have the boy Antonio Gibson playing for me. Ramondre Stevenson or Landry? Probably Landry in a full PPR there, Elias. Fournette or Javonte? Javonte. Elijah Moore over Jamal. Albert O or Tunyon? Albert O. Jacobs over Bateman. Shepard over Collins. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully, I answered as many questions as I possibly can. If you guys just recently got here, there is about 2 hours of stream that was ahead of us that may have your question answered. You can maybe listen to that as like an audio podcast form. It's up to you. I will be posting this stream in like probably an hour once it's gone ahead and uploaded accordingly. I do appreciate you guys coming out, supporting the channel. I'd play Amon-Ra St. Brown over Cooks. I am a machine. And tomorrow morning, we will get back at it for another 2 hours, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be sure to go ahead, click the like button before today's stream ends. I also appreciate you guys, with your viewership. And of course, using promo code Andrew via Underdog Fantasy. If you guys haven't done so yet already and you want to play more fantasy football, be sure to check out the link down in the description. Use the promo code. When you make a first-time deposit using the code, you will be given a first-time deposit match up to $100. The minimum deposit match, or the minimum deposit, is $10. So if you do that, you get a $10 deposit match. You can go up to $50. They'll match at 50. It's up to you. Whatever you'd like to do. If you want to play more fantasy football, Underdog's the way to do it. Check it out. Thank you very much, guys. I am mentally fried. My voice is about to be lost probably. I don't know how people stream for any longer than 6 hours, but then again, I'm talking the entire time, so I got to get used to it. Hopefully we'll be able to do more streams throughout the week. The only reason why I don't do streams on like a Tuesday night is because, again, if we go to a Tuesday night and people are asking questions about Sunday rankings, it's chalked, right? I'd feel really comfortable doing a Tuesday night stream if you guys are like, yes, everyone's only going to ask waiver questions, but we can't guarantee that. I'll filter it accordingly, but maybe we'll do that in the upcoming weeks. Anyway, I appreciate y'all coming out. Tomorrow we'll have updated rankings on screen, so if you're in question as to what the heck is going on, that'll be able to answer it. I appreciate y'all, and until tomorrow morning, I'll see you guys. Peace.